a message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep, sticking it to him. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told me I'm the one
Yes.
that's gonna benefit.
Football season is fucking here, baby.
Y80. Y80. Green 18. Check, check. Check. Bro, we're back. We're back.
Quiet the crowd. Oh, the bird. It's the bird.
Silva. Take a-
Omaha.
Oh, bro, I like a good Omaha. Oh.
My favorite used to
Back.
be every Oregon quarterback. Every Oregon was like this. It was like,
Oh, bro, the
yeah.
it was
And
like
you know,
they were punching down. They were
bro, and you know what I would always never understand? Defenses. You not get a better jump on that?
They would do the fake clap. Dude, that's the greatest thing. John Gruden's content for the last
gonna bring
3
it up.
months, bro.
I was gonna bring, what he said to Jackson Dart. He's like, for 3 years you've been clapping.
He said, all right, now give me your snap count. And they would be like, like,
He's like, you kidding me? He's like, yeah. He goes, so for 3 years you've been clapping. And he goes, yeah.
bro, that's
God almighty, all football gods, please let him be good, bro. The less I see of, I know this is the AFC one. If you guys haven't listened to the NFC win totals, it's all football from here on out, yo. We're fucking back, right? We got 2 more episodes coming out after this. We're doing our NFL hottest takes heading into the year. And then we're doing our NFL awards, right? Our legitimate NFL picks. Obviously, I've already mentioned my Stafford MVP and Bijan Robinson Offensive Player of the Year. Spoiler, it's not changing, but we want to have everything in one
Lined
particular
up,
episode
yes.
lined up. So if you haven't checked that out, please go and check it out. Rate, review, subscribe, the whole 9. We have the AFC win totals. We're fucking back, dude. I'm hyped. When we did NFC last week, when we finished, I was like, the boys are back in town, bro.
I told Cameron, I was like, and this is just natural. I was like, best show of the year. I'm not even. It just felt that aura of not only are we back, but this football season with what we know now and where the brand is heading into. I mean, I think this upcoming football season, Nick, is the most anticipated football season that we've had in quite some time. Does Patrick Mahomes lead the Chiefs back to the promised lands? Does Lamar Jackson go on a fuck you tour? Like, how did you guys not give me MVP? Does Josh Allen still live up to the expectations? Like, there's so many teams, and especially in the AFC that we're going to be discussing today, that the hopes of the team are Super Bowl or bust, and it's like legitimate. There's lots of teams in the AFC that I feel can contend for a title this year. And that's why I think this season, I couldn't be more excited about it. I think they've, the brand that football has built post Brady, post Manning, post Breeze, post Phillip Rivers, it is post Big Ben. It's here to stay. This new crop of stars. And this is like the make it or break it year for a lot of these people that we now consider superstars. So I'm jazzed, bro.
That was a good rant.
Thank you, dude.
Thank
you. That was from the heart. You know, the
Yeah.
best rants come from the heart.
Yeah, no, that was good, man. That was great. I love it. I echo the same sentiments as you. I'm very excited. I got my pink on over here, you know, an homage to Killer Cam. You know what I'm saying? Pink. Him and Bret Hart, the only people that can make pink look cool.
Pink horsepower.
Pink horsepower. Yeah, shout out to that. No dick, no hope. Always remember. Okay, AFC win totals. Again, the way we're doing the show, if you guys have been listening throughout the last couple of years, we give out 5 picks a week on the show. It's really 4, and then there's one, the toxic one, George, which is the one that we don't play. Like, do not play it. We're not saying to take the other side. We're just saying don't play that side.
Correct.
So we have Ursolita, which is the ugliest play on the board, which we love.
Mm-hmm.
We have the toxic one, which we said, just be careful. We're not saying to take the over. We're just saying don't take the under, or vice versa.
Correct.
Then we have Trust Me. In this economy, And then Becky. Shout out to Becky G.
Becky.
My celebrity crush.
Our favorite one, the best looking one on the board.
Yeah.
You know, through and through, no flaws.
And also, an homage to the rapper Plies, Miss Becky. You guys could look up exactly what they mean by that. Blowjobs.
We love it.
Shout out to Becky.
Becky.
Yeah. Okay. How do you want to start? You go first.
So we did Ursolita to start the NFC, so we're going to go reverse order this time. We're going to start with our Trust Me pick, or our Becky pick, which is our favorite one.
Shout out to Becky.
Shout out to Becky. Our favorite pick.
Let's go. Tell me.
Patriots over 7.5.
Ooh.
This is one that the books are even looking at, and they're like, damn, we cannot make the Patriots a potential 8.5 to 9 win team, but god damn it, we sure do feel like they are. That I saw it most recently at some books like -140 all the way up to like -160 on the over to the 7.5 wins. And it's just, there's one factor in the equation now for the Patriots that is been a part of the dynasties. Vrabel is through and through a Patriot. I've been watching endless podcasts, whether it be Bussin' with the Boys, Julian Edelman's podcast, Gronk's appearances on podcasts, and they all say the same thing about what Vrabel brings to a room and what he means to the Patriots. And that's what the Patriots needed in order to be, you know, up to the dynasty standard. And I feel like this is a year where Drake May puts everybody on notice a little bit. I think he has a solid left tackle in Will Campbell that they've drafted. I still, you know, I don't think he's going to perform as well as we would all like him to perform. He's still a rookie in the league, but I think they've made the moves in the offseason that led me to believe that this Patriots team is not going to win less than 7 games. And if I lose on the hook on this one, you know, hands up. I still think that 7 wins for this team is a huge achievement in the direction that they're heading. And yeah, I'm just a huge fan of the Patriots.
Listen, not one of my picks, but I do like it. New head coach, a coach that I've been calling for years, the pound for pound best head coach in the NFL. Mm-hmm. When you look at the roster that he had in Tennessee, he 1,000% overachieved. That team had no business to be in the AFC title game. That team had no business being the 1 seed the year that the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. And it was because of Vrabel. Mm-hmm. Vrabel's going to win 2 to 3 games that they have no business winning. Mm-hmm. So that factored in with Drake May taking the second-year leap. Where I'm a little concerned is I'm not the most excited about the weapons. I still think they have collectively one of the poorest offensive rosters in the league. Stephon Diggs off an ACL, north of 30. Pink substances on boats. Hoes everywhere. Sorry, women. You know, there's a lot of things that I'm a little concerned with. I do think they have a sneaky defensive player of the year candidate in Christian Gonzalez. Shout out to Colombia, the first born Colombian player to be in the NFL. When he had his draft day, he had the Colombian flag on the inside. I was like, I'll probably do that too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yo soy fiesta. You know what I'm saying? We love it.
Gotta
we love
rep the culture.
Offensive line, I still think is going to be bad, but I think of the teams in the division, they improved the most. I'm not saying they're the best. I think Buffalo improved, but slightly. They're already good. Everyone else, I think, regressed except for them. I'm with you. I like this one for you. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting one, and I would agree. If I had to make a play, I would go with that.
Yeah, there would be Drake May. Just remember, like last season, didn't get the starting nod, which I think always lights the fire underneath a rookie quarterback. And, you know, people say, okay, the 6 games he sat, he was able to like learn and be that. But hey, Drake May was already that. He didn't need 6 games learning behind, shit quarterbacks to understand that this is what he is. And they got our boy from Vegas. He's back as OC.
McDaniels.
McDaniels.
Yeah.
That's huge too. So I think the offense is going to definitely improve. And then the Las Vegas connection with Stevenson in the backfield, Ramondre. He's a Vegas legend, bro. So I think this Patriots team over exceeds expectations, and I wouldn't be surprised if they hit this sometime end of November, early December. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. What's your Becky?
So I had said that I like Denver this year. I did some homework.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Denver under 9.5 wins. I think it's possible that Bo Nix takes the next step, but they don't get to 10 wins, which is what they would need to get to.
It's a lot of wins.
Do you know what I remembered last year as I was gathering the notes? They were 7-point underdogs going into Buffalo, and I vividly remember asking you, how do you perceive Buffalo? And you're like, they're really good. It's like, okay. Denver, ready for this? And that'll make sense once I tell you this. Denver last year, against bad teams, aka teams that didn't make the playoffs, 8-0. 1-8 versus good teams. Winning records. Sorry, so it's winning records. That's basically my handicap. They beat up who they were supposed to. They lost to who they were supposed to. And you know who the one win was technically against? Kansas City week 18 when no one played to keep the Bengals out the playoffs. I think their defense is going to be top 3 in the league again, without a doubt. A lot of guys that are becoming household names on that defense. Obviously, Patrick Surtain, the second, ended up winning Defensive Player of the Year. They got a lot of guys, they got a pass rush, which is interesting. Obviously, Sean Payton, I still think their weapons are not my favorite. I do think Bo Nix could improve. But you're looking at this as a 9.5. They got to get to 10 wins in order for you to lose this bet. I think my favorite bet, the Becky, is Denver under 9.5 for the reasons I just mentioned. I just don't think that they're a good team versus good teams. And their schedule is a second place. It's a third place schedule, I should say. And I'm a little concerned, bro. I'm a little concerned. So check this out, right? They open up against the Titans, then at Colts, at Chargers, Bengals at home, at Philly, at Jets. That game is in London, I believe. Yeah, Tottenham Stadium. Then they play the Giants. Then they play Dallas. They play at Houston. They play at Washington. They end the year with at Kansas City, and then Chargers home. So I just don't like Denver. For me, it's Denver under 9.5 is my Becky.
Yeah. I mean, there are some tough games listed on the schedule, but after seeing their schedule, I'm like, it's going to be closer than I would think. When I saw that 9.5, I really was shocked. They kind of did this with the win totals in the divisions, like really handicapping like last year's results. And, I don't feel like the AFC South is going to be as shitty as everybody thinks it's going to be. I don't think the NFC South is going to be as shitty as everybody thinks it's going to be. And I just didn't necessarily see a way in which the Broncos could get to 10. But after looking at their schedule, bro, I mean, like, if we're a fan of Drake May being a year 2 quarterback, I think that Bo Nix is a better year 2 quarterback just because he's been with that OC now for 2 years. Sean Payton's mind is melded with him. Remember, there was times last year early in the season, you see Bo Nix giving lip to Sean Payton, and everybody was like, whoa, what is it? Who does this kid think he is? Like, sometimes, bro, when you're him and you have the confidence that he has. I mean, let's not forget, he was the oldest quarterback drafted last year. So he brings that maturity factor. But I agree with you. 9.5 wins is just too many wins. That would put them second in their division over the Chargers if you think that that's going to happen. And if the Chiefs fumble, you're talking about the Broncos winning the division. So the bet to make is either the under, or if you're a fan of the Broncos, just bet them to win the division, because that would have to happen anyways. So I like that. I like that. We talked about them.
Snake draft. So I go again.
Yep. You get to go again. Here we go.
Ursolita.
All right.
Chiefs under 11.5. Andy Reid is 10-2 to the over in his career with the Chiefs, but he is 2-2 over the past 4 years. They went 11-0 in one-score games.
Yep, I remember. Oh boy, do I remember.
They went 15-2. They went 15-2. One of the losses was at the end when no one played for them. So they went 15-1. 11-0 in one-score games. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they have the best quarterback on the planet right now and probably the best head coach in the league. So let's say, George, they go 6-5. That's under 11.5 wins. I think the offensive line is going to be a concern. They get Rice back. It seems like every wide receiver that they fucking brought in or drafted has some like domestic violence, speeding, the dropsies. Kelsey now is 36. We already took his unders last year. We were saying like, yo, they're going to unleash him in the playoffs. And they did. They did. It was one of our favorite bets. Like, yo, take his overs. I think in only one game did he not cash in on his overs. Most alarming stat, which there should be some regression to the mean for this. They were tied with the New York Giants for explosive plays in 2024.
God.
I think the New York Giants had no explosive plays in 2024. I'm being silly, but that's just for context, right? They really stole so many games they had no business winning.
Yep.
And I just think that they could go 11-6, win the division. You get the under. I'll tell you this much. You know what bet I do like to be pro Kansas City? Why not take them plus 800 to win the Super Bowl? In 7 years, he's made the AFC title game. You can hedge off that there.
Right.
Like the floor for the Chiefs is the AFC title game.
There's a lot you can work around that.
Let me take 8-1.
Yeah.
Let me take 8-1. Let me take 12-1 Mahomes MVP if I'm going with a favorite, the FU tour. Right? I told you I like Rashid Rice, comeback player of the year, but then you brought up a good point like, hey, you got a lot of allegations and shit around him. Are you sure we're going to want to paint that picture? It's all narrative driven. I just think there's going to be some regression on the defense as well. 11.5. Also, how about this? Super Bowl hangover, bro. Super Bowl hangover. 73% to the under since 2010. And again, this team could win 11 games, make the playoffs, win the division. I just don't think they're a 12 or more win team. So I'm going with the under 11.5 for my Ursolita.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with an under as well. It's gonna be a popular one here for the Ursolitas, just because this team we're expecting the world from. My Ursolita pick for this upcoming year is the Steelers over 8.5 wins.
Do you know that Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record?
I do know.
Oh, okay. Just making sure you've heard that because I don't know if it's been floated around on a lot of sports shows over the last 20 years.
I get it.
Yeah.
And I knew this line was going to be set here. We had already hinted at it in a side conversation before that, you know, the legacy of this record that Tomlin has rides on the backs of Aaron Rodgers. And for me, I think there's going to be a time at the beginning of the season in which we want things to be moving faster. We want the connection to DK Metcalf to be there. Are we going to get the same Jaylen Warren that we got last year now stepping up into a role where you don't have Najee Harris? They did draft well on the defensive side. I think they're going to be stout. I just know that it's not going to happen as fast as people want it to happen. And we saw this with the Jets, and I know we didn't necessarily get the greatest picture because of the Achilles, but how about we start with this? It's a revenge tour at New York to start off the season, then versus Seattle, at New England, and then versus Minnesota. Then after that, you kind of get into everything else that you have to deal with in the NFC or in the AFC North, as well as playing NFC North teams. So you're getting the best two divisions from last year in that second part of the season. So the reason why I chose the over 8.5 as my Ursolita is just because if they have any hiccups in those first 5 weeks where they have layup games, it's going to be very tough for them to do this in the gauntlet that they have the remainder of the season. So I do expect them to take care of business. I do expect the Steelers to look exactly as the Steelers looked last year when Justin Fields led them to a 4-2 record, and then they replaced him for Russ. It's going to be the exact situation. And we know, or at least the Steelers fans know, because I see it in the comment section of my Cowboys video that I did a few weeks ago, where they're like, well, you're talking about how tough the Cowboys schedule is. What about the Steelers last year? Okay, let's finish off with at Detroit, at Cleveland versus Baltimore. You play Baltimore twice in December, or one in January. Like, that's a tough fucking schedule. And to get to 9 wins for Mike Tomlin's record, it's going to take damn near being perfect in the first 6 weeks of the season. And I just know that the quarterback to receiver relationship better be on point, because he's making it. I don't know if you've seen this with Rodgers in the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks now since he's been a part of the team.
A lot of DK Metcalf loving.
Big team guy now.
Yeah.
Huge team guy.
Yeah.
The huge winning over the respect of his teammates. Well, let's see if it's real, bro. Let's see if it's real. So my Ursolita, I do like it. It's ugly over 8.5 with the circumstances.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Rodgers is the epitome of, like, you start dating that new girl and everything is so fire. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, I've heard stories about this chick.
You said how many guys?
Yeah.
Damn.
She was in a sorority and she was a bottle girl. Now she's in real estate.
You know,
trifecta.
The bouncers everywhere?
Yeah.
Damn.
A wide receiver 3 on the Niners follows her? Huh. Okay. But I love her, bro. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do.
Yep.
Can you name a wide receiver on the Steelers that's not DK Metcalf? Because this is my biggest handicap for the Steelers, and I'm a little concerned. I had to look this up, and the names are familiar, but it's like 6 years ago it would have been dope. They are thin at wide receiver. That's why, like, a lot of Steelers fans, like, I got 2 buddies that are huge Steeler fans, and they both told me the same thing. They're like, bro, Pickens is a headache, but, like, we don't got nothing after DK. And was he overvalued because he was on the Steelers? I think so. Is he going to kill it on Dallas? Fuck yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can you name me a wide receiver on the Steelers? I couldn't. I'll tell you the truth. I couldn't. Like, off the top, I was like, who's on this? No, he's not there no more. He's not there no more.
Calvin Austin?
Yeah. Calvin Austin's there.
And then Pat Frymouth is the only other
Tight end. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
So right now, the depth chart on the depth chart right now on the official Steelers website is DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin, Robert Woods,
Yep.
Scotty Miller,
Jesus.
Ben Skowronek,
Yep.
and Brandon Johnson, and then a bunch of rookies. So again, Robert Woods in 2018, sensational. Calvin Austin had some moments, cool, but pretty thin past that. So, like, DK better be sensational.
I know, and he's just, and he's good. He's good. DK Metcalf is great when there's 2 other receivers that are also really good on the team. Now, at least that's just what we've been presented. That's the only situation he's ever fucking been in. But he looked stout for Seattle when Tyler Lockett was getting some attention, when JSN was getting some attention, when all he was really running was go routes. Rodgers is going to put him through. Like, imagine this. Rodgers wants to make DK Metcalf Devontae Adams. how quick of a process do you think that would logically take? Like, how long is that human update? I would assume probably 4 months.
Yeah.
If not years. I'm being generous.
So can I tell you, I know we've spoke about it in the past, but just me, when it comes to like OTAs and voluntary camps, and anytime you hear, oh, this player missed camp and how dare he miss camp. If you're a vet, I'm cool with you missing camp. Now,
Agreed.
I don't like if DK Metcalf missed camp. He just got to Pittsburgh. You're not really familiar with the QB. I would want, if you're a new receiver playing with a new quarterback, or you're a new quarterback with new receivers, like, you should be there for all of them. But like Lamar Jackson didn't go. You know what I mean? Like a couple of years ago, it was like Chase didn't go. Last year, I think it was. It's like, it's fine, bro. Him and Burrow have been together for 7 years. Like, they'll be okay. When Julio Jones was there, I was like, him and Matt Ryan are fine. I just don't. It bothers me when it's like, oh shit, this guy just went to this new team and he's not there. It's like, all right, I know it's not voluntary, but it kind of should be for you.
Right.
That's just me. But yeah, I was just bringing that up because, yeah, you're gonna need to come out the gates firing, bro. If you're
For
Pittsburgh,
sure.
you're gonna need to.
Yeah, you got to go. You got to go 5-0. Yeah. So snake draft, it's my pick. Next one for me is going to be my trust me pick. This one's a juicy one, dude, because I feel everybody is just captivated by the offseason headlines with this team, and the offseason headlines have nothing to do about how this team really just like, they aren't as bad as people present it, or at least they have the potential to do something good with their defense. Over 5.5 wins for the Browns.
Whoa.
Trust me. Is my trust me.
Wow. Okay.
I think Myles Garrett staying there is 100% the only reason why you can make this play. I think he is looking forward to his 2 games against the Steelers this year based on his comments after Aaron Rodgers signed. Joe Flacco is a vet that is able to still get wins in the league. And I think he's able to fit this role that the Browns definitely need. I think Dylan Gabriel is going to be active at some point in time this season. It's just at what point in time they decide to make the switch from Joe Flacco to Kenny Pickett to then possibly Dylan Gabriel. Besides the fact, the reason why I'm saying trust me is because it might not be the best pick on paper, but you're goddamn right it will be the funnest one to follow throughout the year. And if you think that the NFL isn't slated for a team that's supposed to be asked to not get to 6 wins, I think they can get. There's a stretch here that I want to highlight for people. October 19th, they play versus Miami. Then they go at New England, a bye week at Jets. Potential 3 wins there. Potential 3 wins, even though I said the Pats were going to be legit this year. Rookie quarterback, Myles Garrett, hello. Will Campbell starting rookie left tackle. I think that's a win. Now you're telling me that every week I get to look forward to the Browns playing spoiler to somebody's season. That's why I'm making this play. And I know I had mentioned the offseason, circus that has been created. I think if Shedeur is as fast as he is on the road on the field, maybe he is actually somebody that's going to get some playing time and lead the Browns to the promised land. It's just a fun team to follow. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's why this is just a trust George here. But I know the feeling that I'm going to have week 15, week 16, needing them to get one more win to cash this. And it's going to be electric. And that's why you need to do it.
I could tell you from right now, Ursolita week 1. Browns plus 6.5 against the Bengals at home. It is.
Should we lock it in?
We're locking this in from right now. Week 1, Ursolita. Browns at home. We don't know who the quarterback is. They're playing the Bengals. Plus 6.5 Cleveland. George, 110,000%. This is Ursolita from now. The
remember
Bengals are like 0-2 every year, starting week 1 and 2. Joe Burrow of 112 NFL quarterbacks that fit the criteria have started more than 5 games weeks 1 and 2 in his career. 112. He's 109th against the spread.
Oh my God.
Remember last year they lost to the Pats as 10-point favorites?
Yep.
Fucked everybody's eliminator pool.
Mm-hmm.
And then they lost the week after. They're always chasing. I think the Bengals win, but it's in division. Cleveland at home. Maybe it's like a 17-14 game. What happened to the Bengals offense from last year? How dare, Myles Garrett has 3 sacks, becomes a favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. I am guaranteeing you this is going to be Ursolita from now. Like, it's going to be. It is perfect.
And
She's beautiful.
And they got Quishon Judkins from Ohio State, which, in my opinion, was last year's top 3 running back. And so they were able to secure a person that you're going to be able to run into the ground now that he's a rookie while you're trying to figure out the quarterback situation. And it's just fun. Like, the Browns make things entertaining and interesting. I remember last year, and it's the Jameis Winston effect, but the snow game last year with Jameis Winston is an NFL all-time classic. That's what the Cleveland Browns present you. They present you with a team that has little to no hope all the time, and they now think they're something bigger than they are because Baker took them on a playoff run, and Myles Garrett's a Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So
can I tell you another one? Ready? In 10 career starts in week 1 and 2, Joe Burrow, what's his record? Just like money line, like straight up. In the first 2 weeks, in week 1 and 2, what is Joe Burrow as a starter in his career?
Money line. And he's played how many seasons? So this will be 10 games?
This is his 6th season in the league.
Okay, so he's played 10. He's 3-7.
He's 1-9.
Wow.
Yeah. He is 1-9.
So, dude,
now, mind you, this is a guy who comes into every year, though, off of ACL, off of calf.
Yep.
Remember last year, he had Tommy John, or he had some shit that like would ruin pitchers' careers.
Mm-hmm.
He can't throw a ball at all.
Correct.
And then he goes out and he's NFL MVP if his team can make like 2 more stops a game.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So Joe Burrow in his career in week 1 and 2 is 1-9, and it's in division getting 6.5. I might go back make this bet right now, bro. Once we get off this, I'll fucking go do it. Don't threaten me with a good time. 100%. Bengals. Browns plus 6.5. Segue for me.
Yes.
Toxic one.
Okay.
Stay away from the Bengals over 9.5.
Okay.
All right. I'm just listen. Their offense. Top in the league. Maybe Philly. I'll go with Philly. I'll show all my. Sorry, Isaiah. I'll go with Philly. Number 1. Number 2, it's Cincinnati, bro. They got 2 $30 million wide receivers. I like Chase Brown in the backfield. Gesicki got paid. Offensive line should improve. It wasn't terrible last year. It might be a carbon copy of last season.
30 points a game.
And Joe Burrow has 30 touchdowns, 4 interceptions heading into week 8, and the Bengals are 3-5. Like, their defense is just, they're already having issues. Well, at the time that we're recording, the first round pick hasn't signed because they don't want to pay him. Their defense has been pretty lackluster. They do have a new defensive coordinator. But dude, I think it's offense through the roof, top 3 in the league. Defense might be bottom 5 in the league. I'm just not sure what they're going to look like. And then also, bro, they better win those first 2 games this year and break away from this trend because their schedule gets kind of funky, right? Like, so the first 2 should be layups, right? They're more than 6-point favorites in both of them. They're on the road to Cleveland. Then they have the Jaguars. Then they play at Minnesota, at Denver, home to Detroit, a game that I'm hoping we're going to go to, at Green Bay, home Pittsburgh, home Jets, home Bengals, one of 4 teams to play 3 straight home games. So for a month, they're basically not going anywhere because there's a bye week in between. Then they play at Pittsburgh, home Patriots, at Ravens, at Bills, home Ravens. Wow. Talk about that 3-game stretch there.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough. So that's what I'm saying. Like, these first 2 weeks, you better be 2-0 because then it's going to just road, home, home, bye week, home. So 1-9 in the first 2 weeks for Joe Burrow. So I'm just saying, Ursolita, I'll tell you this. I'd rather bet them to win the Super Bowl than to take their win total over. And I know it's kind of like hypocritical, but It was the same thing that I said last year. Remember what my handicap was against Buffalo's over? And I was like, I'd rather take their under and bet Josh Allen for MVP. It ended up being a fantastic call because it's like, yo, their roster isn't, at the time, we're like, there's a lot of unknown. Mm-hmm. And if they do get to 12, 13 wins, it'll be because Josh Allen puts on the cape. And that's what happened.
Yep.
Literally, that's what happened. So it was like, bet Allen at 8-1 to win the MVP as opposed to their win total over.
Yeah.
I took the under on the win total, and then it ended up working out like verbatim and perfect. Kind of feel the same way with this one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like Burrow MVP. Maybe it's Bengals 20-1 to win the Super Bowl. That's how I would approach this one with the win total. With the win total. It's my toxic one with the Bengals.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm fucking through this is amazing.
Are we going?
I'm loving this football talk.
Are we going to? I mean, gosh, it's just terrible. I don't even want to say it. I just want Joe Burrow to be healthy heading into a football season.
Yeah.
Because it's like typically, it's like right around this time.
Yeah. Or he's nursing an injury from the year. But yeah.
Yeah. But
you're right though, because the one with the calf was like
in training camp.
The first day of training camp, he rolls out and everyone's like, oh shit, he blew out his Achilles.
Yeah.
But then it ended up being a calf. So, but hey, listen, we just talked about this a couple of weeks ago with Tyrese Halliburton, man, and Damian Lillard and Kevin Durant, all these guys with the calves. So yeah, toxic one, Bengals over 9.5. Your go, or is it my go? Is it my go?
No, well, I had done my trust me, and then you went to toxic one.
Okay.
So you're still going to owe me one at the end, but I can hop to my toxic.
Yeah, good.
I'm going to hop to my toxic.
Why not?
I consider this toxic because I feel like people are getting wrapped up into the first year quarterback hype that every year for the past 2 seasons, for sure, there's been that rookie quarterback that shows out, takes their team from trash to contenders in the league. And that's a lot of the talk that I've been hearing with the Tennessee Titans and their win total at over 5.5. And I don't like it at all. I think the Tennessee Titans are one of the worst teams in the league, and not every time when you go new coach, new quarterback, does everything just all of a sudden work. Cam Ward, to me, great player. I do wish him the best. I think he's going to have a great NFL career. I just think that last year, the University of Miami played a lot of games in which he looked good, not necessarily the greatest competition that college football has to present. And he showed out, bro. And he did exactly what any quarterback should do in that position, which is take care of business against shitty teams, make yourself look like a number 1 overall pick, and then get drafted number 1 overall. This was a team, Nick, that I was so high on last year that I was shouting from the fucking rooftops, not only take their over, but take this team to win the division. And boy, was I wrong. So I am going to completely fade what I did last year. And yeah, this Titans team, I had stated it with Cam Ward leading them. Tony Pollard didn't do what we expected him to do leaving Dallas. Calvin Ridley, okay, we wanted you to produce in the ways that you were with Atlanta. And then you go to Jacksonville, do that little experiment, and now you're trying to resurrect your career with a rookie quarterback. I'm not liking that. Treylon Burks, though, he was good. He was good last year. He was a shining hope for the Titans. And then they get Tyler Lockett, who it still shocks me. Tyler Lockett will still be one of the best fantasy wide receivers in the league this next year. I call him Tyler 10 points because he's constantly getting you 10 points, especially if it's PPR. I just don't like the Titans, though, on the defensive side. And if I look at their schedule, if I'm fantasy booking a way for them to get to 6 wins, Nick, it's pretty tough to get to 6 wins when you start off at Denver, then you host the Rams, then you host the Colts, and then you go on the road to play Houston. That's a pretty shitty way for a rookie quarterback to get introduced to the league. I mean, how many picks do we? Okay, here's another bet you can make week 1. Cam Ward over half an interception. If it's over 1.5, I would also put it in. But it's the rookie's first time underneath the lights against a really good defense. I find it hard to believe that he's not going to turn the ball over once. 5.5 wins is just going to be extremely tough to find. I don't know how else to put it.
Listen, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I don't like Tennessee. I still think that anytime I see a team draft a young quarterback, especially one that's like on a bad team, if let's just say, for example, off the top of my head, say Tampa Bay was to draft a quarterback and they didn't have big, I'd be like, all right, Tampa's still a good team.
Right.
But I'm saying like this team sucked.
Yeah, bro.
All right, they were 3-14. How they won 3 games, we'll never know. So I'm with you. Really stupid, really dumb bet. Might not even make the roster. But I saw at 300 to 1 in some places, Xavier Restrepo to be Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Wow.
Again, really dumb.
I know.
Might not make the team, but he's playing with his college quarterback. They set all these records. He's the all-time leading receiver at Miami. Did he play 5 years? Sure, but we're going to leave that out just to make this take look even better because the U has had a lot of Hall of Fame players. But look, bro, they do need like a slot receiver because they have Calvin Ridley. They got Trey Burks, Tyler Lockett. I'm not as excited as you are about him. I kind of think he's a shot fighter now. But
for sure.
But to your point, week 1, 3 points. Week 2, 4.6 points. Week 3, 5 points. Week 4, 37 points.
Yeah.
Like that's the Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, the arc.
That's the arc always. They don't have really, Tyler Lockett would be the slot receiver, but I just think that, 300 to 1, I've made way dumber bets. And I think that it's just an interesting pairing of linking up with your former college quarterback. I'll tell you this, he'll be in a lot of anytime touchdown parlays. Get like a 15 to 1 for him to score a touchdown. Why not go to your boy?
Yeah.
Especially if you're down like 30. Go to your boy.
You're going to be constantly throwing the ball.
Yeah. So that the U can post it on their Instagram from college, from Coral Gables to Nashville. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get that in there. So
I feel you.
I just wanted to bring that up. Because also, on a serious note, like, I'm not the most excited about Treylon Burks and Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley, cool. I still think he was 18 to 1 to end up on the Titans, and then he ended up on the Titans.
Yeah.
This guy's a degenerate. He didn't play for a year. He's literally one of us. So I'm just saying. Again, I made dumber bets, but I'm with you on the Titans. Like, yeah, I just don't see it.
Stay away. Toxic.
Yeah.
It's toxic. Don't fall into the fucking TikTok compilations of fucking Cam Ward and Xavier Restrepo going off in college. It doesn't connotate.
Yeah.
I hated when they did this shit with Jaden Daniels because it did work for them in that situation, but it was the same shit, bro.
Yeah.
How do you not know JD5 is him?
Yeah.
How do you not know Cam Ward is him, bro? Come on, I'm gonna be like, get the fuck out of our comments, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Give me your trust me since you skipped over.
Trust me. Remember, Trust Me was on fire last year, bro. Trust Me was insane. I think of all the plays, this is why it's Trust Me and it's not Becky. The Miami Dolphins under 8.5 wins. Lock that shit up. I love it. I think this is a team that it could go south and very south. And I know they're at the southest point of the country in South Beach. I don't like it. Look, I just don't know what they're doing, bro. I don't know what they're doing. I didn't like their draft. After the bye week, they play at the Jets, at Pittsburgh, at New England in cold weather. Hot take, ready for this? I think both Waddle and Tyreek Hill do not end the year with Miami.
Wow.
I think they get rid of both of them. I think what they did is they paid Tua, we paid the receivers, and they're going to see that ain't the way to build this roster on this team. I just don't think it's going to translate. I think both of those guys are going to be trade bait. I also don't like that Zach Wilson is the backup quarterback. Not because of Zach Wilson. I just don't like my quarterback being left-handed and then the backup is right-handed.
It's an issue.
Kind of fucks up the whole offense. Now my right tackle is the priority. But then when Zach Wilson comes in, if he does, because let's also talk about that, bro. Tua is an injury risk every time he steps on the field. It's very concerning. I think the secondary, there's going to be some regression. And I think it might be the worst secondary in the league, honestly. They got new guards. They got new safeties. I don't like any of them. The schedule is okay. It's not too hard. It's not too soft of a schedule. But I think they're a 5-12, 6-11 team. That's how I feel about Miami.
I mean, the division's gotten better. You don't have the layup game against the Pats again, so it's just the whole McDaniels.
I think he got figured out. Also, I think he got figured out, and I also think that Tua just got figured out, bro. Mm-hmm. And again, like Tyreek has already been upset with Miami, and I like Tyreek and I like Waddle. But I think the way they paid those guys, Miami's going to say to themselves, listen, it's not worth it for us. Let's try to sell high on these guys. Someone's going to want them. A contender's going to want to add a Tyreek Hill or a Waddle, especially Waddle because he's younger. And let's just blow it up. And once again, we're going to have to find another quarterback. That's how I feel about Miami.
Well, but here's the thing. If they blow it up, that's the end of McDaniels because that's his game. Like what? So you're going to blow it up to what? Recreate the same exact system that you tried to with what we thought at the time was going to be one of the greatest receivers to have ever played the game. How quickly our minds change over 2 seasons of you performing mediocrely in your highlights of your career in Miami or a fucking police body cam video of you getting arrested 2 hours before kickoff week 1. Like, how quickly times have changed because we expected this offense and the McDaniels system and the speed that they had. I remember, and it does work. I'm not saying that it's been fully figured out. I just think it's a very injury prone, high octane type of offense. The same way that if I was to do cross sport reference with the way that the Pacers were very fast paced this year and that was their bread and butter, but it was also their downfall and their detriment. It's the same thing with this team. You don't have Mostert anymore. A-Chain is your one speedster out of the backfield. Tyreek is going to get a double team no matter where he goes. And Jalen Waddle is only good when 2 is on the field. So there's just so many variables on the offensive side that I struggle to find this team being able to be a competitor. And their win total is at 8.5.
Yes.
Why?
And check this out.
My question. Why isn't New England 8.5 and them 7.5? Because you get more action reverse?
Oh, I think with Miami, it's at least, even though it's going to sound really weird and hypocritical, at least you know what you're getting with Tua. Or like with Drake May, it's like.
I get what you're saying.
And the under is minus 150. You actually could get plus 120 on the over 8.5 wins.
That makes sense.
But I'm going with the under. It's my favorite one. Is to trust me.
How shitty is it? The Dolphins this year they have a bye week, week 12, and their bye week leads into the Saints. Like there's nothing worse than a bye week leading into a team that you know you could probably just beat on a short week even.
Yeah.
That blows.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
2 weeks to prepare for the Saints. That's nuts. I will start watching film a day before. We'll be fine.
My goodness. I think you have one more to go, and I think both of us have in this economy, right?
Yes.
Wrap?
Yeah.
All right. You want me to go?
Yeah, take us to the start of home.
Take us home, brother. In this economy, The Buffalo Bills win total is 11.5. George, I like the over.
Wow. That's a lot of wins, dude. You can't have any sort of fuck-ups, and their schedule's pretty tough.
It's a lot of wins.
Lay it out for me.
So, I like when teams, you know how we always talk about, like, you can't give out a draft grade. You just don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way I do my draft grades or how I analyze what a team did in a draft is, did you address the things I think you should address, which would be defense? They did that through the draft. They did that through free agency. James Cook, running back worries, contracts. He's not officially holding out, but I wouldn't be surprised they coming into training camp, and if a deal isn't signed, it's going to be questionable going into there. And he's a big part of their offense. I think when Joe Brady took over as offensive coordinator, they were like, hey, Josh, you don't need to throw the ball 47 times. Let's feed it to James Cook. Let's get him going. And then the offense really changed a lot. They became more ground and pound.
Agreed.
And then come playoff time, they're like, hey, Josh, you're going to carry the ball 18 times as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, bro, it's really for the AFC East. If Josh Allen just stays healthy, they're a 12-win team. And of all the teams in the NFL that finished in first place, that play a first place schedule, no team has an easier first place road schedule than them. At Atlanta, at Carolina, at Houston, at Cleveland, at Steelers, than the division games. Bro, at Cleveland, at Atlanta, at Carolina, at Houston.
Your favorites on the road.
You're probably a favorite in all of those games, honestly.
Yeah.
So if they just stay healthy, I think my two favorite moves that teams made this offseason is Devontae Adams going to the LA Rams and Joey Bosa going to Buffalo. I like Bosa for $12 million. I didn't like him for 32.6.
For sure.
And he got cut from the Chargers because they're like, bro, we can't pay this.
For sure.
Go get your money elsewhere. So to me, it's that simple, man. I think Josh Allen, if he's healthy, they're a 12-win team. I think they're still the cream of the crop. You get like plus 120 on them to win the division. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And that's just how I feel about it. And they have an unbelievable home crowd. Like they have one of the 4 or 5 venues that.
New stadium this year.
Is it this year?
I would be shocked if it wasn't, bro. Like who the fuck's building this? It's taking forever.
New stadium. I actually know the person that's in charge of the stadium being
we'll
built.
Tell him he's got to have it ready by
New
kickoff
Highmark
week 1.
Stadium. It is expected to be opened for 2026.
2026.
Yeah. It'll be 2026. So next season. But yeah, bro, for me, it really comes
crazy.
For me, that's really my handicap with Buffalo. I think they are my Super Bowl pick. I like everything about Buffalo. I think they went through the growing pains last year. I think they'll be the 1 seed because of the schedule. So that game's going to have to go through Buffalo.
I have to ask you this, though, because weapons are everything. Are you a fan? Like Keon Coleman.
I'm expecting a leap.
Khalil Shakir.
Big fan. The 2 tight ends, Knox and Kincaid.
Josh Palmer.
Josh Palmer, listen, they paid a lot more than I would have liked for them to pay. But now is it what happens with him having Josh Allen? Now I know he had Justin Herbert, so it's not like he went from he didn't go from Daniel Jones to Josh Allen. We're like, oh shit, maybe they'll be. So maybe he's utilized different. I like it. You know why? Because I saw him win MVP with this roster.
True.
So
Steal MVP.
Yeah.
Himself.
Yeah. The offense lost the game against Kansas City because they were running QB sneaks to the left. And all the reporters, all the analysts, and fucking Tony Romo were like, when Buffalo goes for a QB sneak, he likes to go to the left guard. And every single time it was getting stopped.
Yeah.
That's why they lost that game. So I just think you're going to be hearing a lot of Mr. Brightside playing this year. And I like Buffalo, man. I'm all in on the Bills of Buffalo. Shout out to the 716. Take us home, bro. What is your last?
It's in this economy.
Yeah.
It's in this economy. And it sucks because, like, you know, I rode for this quarterback hard last year. Pause. But I did. I did not think that Russell Wilson should have came in and started over Justin Fields. And Justin Fields moves to the Jets, and the Jets get Aaron Glenn. And it's a team that last year, you know, I was obviously being propped up by Aaron Rodgers just controlling the entire organization from head to toe, and that's what we thought of the team. And firing Salah in the middle of the season. And here's the thing that I struggled with, Nick, and my bet for this in this economy is Jets under 5.5 wins at plus money. I see it at plus 120. I don't want to hear this shit about that this defense is good. You had one of the greatest defensive minds in Robert Salah, and they still weren't able to figure it out. Let's stop. Okay? Sauce Gardner, you golfed a lot last offseason. It was obvious. Quinnen Williams, still a stud, but you need to start teaching your teammates around you how to act like you. I was just not a fan of looking at this roster when I'm trying to find like what is the best bet in this economy for the veterans minimum listeners. It's the Jets under 5.5 wins. Even if the process goes great and Justin Fields is better than expected, Craig Reynolds, Alan Lazard, Breece Hall, these are all pieces that, you know, we're expecting to do monumentous things and help, you know, kind of resurrect this Jets team. I don't think the offensive line's that bad. On paper, this team should be able to get over 5.5 wins. I just think Aaron Glenn being a defensive-minded coach in a city that, I don't know, I just feel like I want to see flash. I want to see big plays. Like, I think of the Jets and their days in which they were a powerhouse. The defense did play a factor in those years, but I remember that Mark Sanchez and the offenses were also not boring.
Word. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I feel the Jets have been missing. Plus 120 for their under. You know, I've chosen now 5 teams that you will hear nothing about on any of these other fucking shows because of how bad they're going to be next year. But this is a way that you can make money on bad football teams. It's just studying it, looking at the moves in the offseason. And although there were moves made, Justin Fields was where on people's top available quarterbacks list?
Not that high.
Top 10?
Yeah.
Maybe cracking like the 8 spot? Who knows? I hope he proves us wrong, but it's been a while since Ohio State and the success that he had there. So that's my in this economy. Do you have one more?
No, that's it.
That was it?
Yeah, that was it. I had, so just to recap, Becky was the Broncos under 9.5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Ursolita was the Chiefs under 11.5 wins. The toxic one is the Bengals 9.5 wins. Trust Me is Miami 8.5 to the under. And then in this economy, it's Buffalo 11.5 to the over.
I love this. My Ursolita is Steelers over 8.5. My toxic one is Titans over 5.5. Trust Me is Browns over 5.5. In this economy is Jets under 5.5 at plus 120. And then my Becky is the Patriots over 7.5. The one thing I also wanted to add on to my Jets rant is their owner, Woody Johnson, just spent $245 million to purchase Crystal Palace. And me not being a soccer fan, I'm reading this and I'm like, what the fuck is the owner of the Jets purchasing like roller skating rinks? And I didn't realize Crystal Palace is
A soccer team in the Premier League.
Yeah. I was like, dude, that's a lot of money for roller rinks. Like, that's wild. So anyways, it's even wilder that it is a soccer team. Your own owner is already looking for his escape plan. And he's doing it months before your season starts. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good flip. They're going to be in Europe next year. They're playing in the Europa League. I believe they won the FA Cup. I think they beat Man City. I could be wrong, but their best player.
Are they perceived as better than the Jets?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, they're definitely better than Jets. Let's end with a parlay. We didn't do this for the NFC.
Ooh, okay.
But I do like the AFC sides better.
Mm-hmm.
Bills over 11.5. Patriots over 7.5. Cleveland over 5.5. Miami under 8.5. Plus 810.
Those are our faves.
Those are our favorites. Kind of like it, bro.
I do like parlaying these. I don't think it necessarily. I hate to say it because we are future betting shows, but like future bets at plus 120 to me, like they don't move the needle.
A lot of professional bettors, though, tend to bet win totals more than any other future market for that reason.
Really?
Yeah, because like, I'll be honest, I don't want to put $500 on minus 140 for 4.5 months.
True.
No, I'd rather put $500 on 20 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an appeal to that. But like the professional bettor is like, hey, there's a better edge there, especially in a market where it's either going to go over or under. It ain't MVP where it's like 400 names.
True.
It's really like 20.
It's organizational.
Exactly. Yeah. This one is more like, hey, over or under. It's two options as opposed to first touchdown score, division winner.
Yep.
Fucking Super Bowl MVP. So I just wanted to preface that as well. But I'm with you though, because I don't want to do it either.
Yeah, dude.
But
I know
if
when
we
you said
parlay,
when you said parlay, as soon as you said parlay, I was in.
Yeah. You in? You in for 50? We'll go have some halves on this?
Yeah.
And then we'll go to a nice dinner when it hits.
Oh fuck yeah.
Fuck
50,
yeah, bro.
that means we're getting
about 400. Yeah,
perfect. That means that we could get to spend 800.
Yeah.
So then that way we're gonna still pay 400, but now we just fucking live like kings.
Because if one of these loses, we tell people we lost 800 on that.
100%.
Not 100.
Correct.
Makes it spicier. You know what I'm saying? Hey, remember, subscribe, rate, review, follow. Tag us, please, if you're listening. It's all football from here on out. Check out the NFC show if you didn't. This was the AFC win totals. Next week, you'll be hearing our top 10 NFL hottest takes. Let us know what your hot takes are coming into this year. And then we're doing our NFL awards. Then we're taking about a month off.
Yep.
And we're coming back with the 11th annual NFL preview show, 10 years of veterans minimum.
Yeah. NFL preview show this year is going to be electric. Some of the best knowledge that you guys are going to get on the market. So like Nick said, make sure you guys subscribe and join our Patreon. $1 American dollar. That's all it takes to get our insights and our picks. And you need to do that because if you're not doing that, you're missing out on the fun. And when we're posting, collecting money, you're going to be like, oh, I wish I was a part of the Patreon.
Yeah. Talk to him, bro.
So, hey, it's going to be FOMO on you. That's it. Bye-bye.
I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.